Welcome.
Whoa. Welcome to the Treasure Tree, also known as the Triple T Planets Podcast. I'm your host, Master Cheeze. I'm joined here with a doctor of physical therapy, Bryan O Killer, former collegiate athlete, linebacker of the year. Go ahead, let the audience know who you are.
You said it. I'm here. I'm joining. I'm nice to be able to crash the pod. You know, some people think I'm him and he me. So, you know, I might be Master Cheeze for all you know. But yeah, I'm, excited to be on the pod. Excited to talk some shop and see what we got on the agenda.
Well, it's nice to finally get you on here. It's been a minute. I know we've been talking about doing this for about a year, but we're gonna make it happen. Holidays is around. Happy Thanksgiving to all of those people out there. Be thankful for your loved ones. And as we move forward, we're going to discuss today about the Chicago Bears. I think today is another gloomy day, even though the sun was out. The Bears might be cursed. Bears might be cursed. I'm just gonna throw that out there. I think we just cursed as always. And what were your thoughts about the game today, man? Kind of tough to watch. A lot of emotions, a lot of highlights, a lot of bad parts. But how'd you feel about today's performance for the Chicago Bears?
Man, it's tough. It's tough as a Bears fan. We kind of in a spot where, our season. We really not Super Bowl contenders right now. So it's kind of like we in that in between stage. It's either you tank and you get another number one pick, which, we've had that already, which showed that we've been trashed for a minute. Or, you go and compete for a Super Bowl. We right in the middle. But I think we saw a lot of good things today from the game, even though we took that loss, a tough loss, but played up against a good defense. A lot of highlights from the game. I think it was cool. A couple takeaways. It's nice to have a quarterback who can go down and drive the field and get you some points. That's something that we haven't had in a minute. And Caleb Williams has showed in multiple games that he can do that. So that's one bright spot. Special teams, ups and downs. The muff punt was tough, but then also the return at the end, they kind of redeemed it a little bit. So I know we got a lot. It's a lot of different things. I wish our defense can get a little bit more pressure on the quarterback. Defense is balling, but it's a couple of different things that we can kind of break down as we go. What was your thoughts?
My thoughts from the game was that the Bears are cursed.
I feel it.
Oh man, it's just so many different emotions when you're watching the game, when you're seeing so many opportunities just go out the window. And it's just even just from the referee calling, just we had the review with Keenan Allen. I wish the Bears were a little bit more headsy and got that playoff, but didn't really work that way again. Caleb Williams is a rookie quarterback. Hopefully, at time it gets better, but that's a part of the game that he has to get better at, recognizing these moments. But that call goes against us. I don't know how the booth review goes and doesn't give us that call, but then comes back and gives Addison that catch down the sideline with a technical term about you can't use a sideline or a boundary you can, but just these random rules are just always going up against the Bears, and we can never be on the other side of that. So I've just determined that at the end of the day, the Bears just may be cursed. I don't know if it's from the Lovie Smith firing when he had a positive record and the Bears fans didn't enjoy that and they wanted to fire him and got rid of him. But since then, it's just we don't really get things to go our way, or maybe it might have been like that prior to. But I just think the Bears are cursed. We might need to go get a cub, take a cub from the zoo, and bring it around the stadium and maybe get some of the aura out of it. I don't know, man, but everybody has these answers that don't necessarily work. We had the field goal that went down that we'll discuss later, but it's just these different pieces just always come back to hurt us down the stretch. The one key piece I will say is Caleb Williams did play well today. I think he's still in contention of getting Rookie of the Year. I don't think it's Jaden Daniels clear cut yet. I think he's been struggling, but Caleb still has to get some dubs and he still has to improve. But from the game today, what would you say was the hardest part about watching the Bears game today?
I think it was just that the emotional roller coaster we used to as Bears fans. The Bears always good enough to keep you interested. but they're not good enough to actually get the dub. I think the hardest part probably was, damn, I don't know. I mean, they came back. They fought. I think they fought. I think Eberflus going for 2. I didn't really like that, even though I messed with Eberflus. I think that was tough. Kind of looking at the analytics and doing that. And I don't really think Bear. I mean, the analytics is so fugazi. I think the fact that we go down 24-10. We come down, get points. We go 6. They come down, get a field goal, and then we come down and get 2 field goals. I think that onside kick was dope. Getting that onside kick, recovering that, forcing overtime. Though tough part, another block field goal. That was crazy. That after the way we ended the game last week, they should have cleaned that up. And it was so much pressure coming in from that left side. That was crazy. I think that's something that can really, as a coach, as a franchise, NFL is, these games are so close. Everybody talk about Matt Eberflus stats in one possession games. You need to have your field goal and special teams on point. So I think that was probably the toughest part. You never really want to lose games on special teams, especially when your defense is, got its hands full. Aaron Jones running the ball down our throats. They having to take, Jefferson out of the game. So they were kind of doing a lot of different things, throwing him a lot of different looks, and Addison got off as a result. So the Vikings got a lot of different pieces. But one other tough part, I think, was that defense, that Montez Sweat, that sack in overtime. That you got to get a strip sack in that point. I think an elite defensive end, you got to get a strip sack. You got to, give us the ball back. We line up for a field goal. We go home. But hindsight 2020, I think another tough one was Caleb Williams. After he balled out during the game, taking that bad sack in overtime, going from 2nd and 10 to 3rd and 26, that's a tough. Yeah, 3rd and impossible. That's a tough sack to take, especially because he was in the rhythm of getting the ball out quick. 3-step drop, making moves, and then after we, playing with house money, getting to overtime where it's all right, you can't do no wrong. To take a sack like that shows the rookie, him being a rookie. I think he'd definitely get better from it, but that sack kind of changed the whole overtime for us. So that was tough.
You brought us some good points. So I think 3 pieces of the information that you provided. I think the first piece I want to talk about is the 2-point conversion that you mentioned. Why don't you like the 2-point conversion? And what are your thoughts when you say you didn't like his decision to go?
You mean you score a touchdown? Now it's 24-16. Just take the extra point, 24-17. And now if you want to go for 2 to win the game, now you can win the 2. You can go home with it. But if you go for 2 right there, you don't get it. Now you down 8. Now you basically have to get a 2-point conversion. And I know the analytics basically says, okay, you're going to get 1 of 2, but you don't really need a 2-point conversion in that situation. I think that's 1. And 2, I think people, the analytics is so, like I said, it's fugazi. It's like to compare it to basketball, right? So let's say you got a weak shooter in the corner, and y'all play basketball regularly. The shooter shoot them threes in the corner and he trash, and then you look at the analytics and you be like, dang, this shooter, he only shooting 25% from the corner. Let's let him shoot. Now you've changed your behavior. So now you leave him open. You get out late. You trying to bait him into shooting, but you're not doing the same thing that you were doing before. Then you look at now he hitting 40% just because he not having to shoot with a late contest. He not having to do anything. Y'all not swinging over to him. Y'all giving him more open looks. Y'all changed y'all behavior because the analytics showed that that's what y'all should do. And now you need a new set of analytics because your behavior has changed. So now you can't really use those same things. So I think people overdo the analytics too much.
That's an interesting point talking about analytics. I think that's just 50-50 flip of the coin, that sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But I'm not even going to, as much as that's the road to go, I want to look at it simply, I feel like the Bears are cursed. And now when I say that is that the coach is already so far in a hole right now is that he doesn't really understand, or he doesn't really even feel comfortable or confident in his decision making as a coach as he normally would. Now he has to try to overcompensate so that he can keep his job.
Yeah.
So like right now, he's not even able to really fully coach as he would like to, because he knows that every decision he has to make is going to be critical, and no one's really defending his ideas and decisions. We speak about him going for 2, but I think that's what it comes down to. He just wants to be in position to win the game. You get the score, now you come down. Maybe it's a 1-score game, and you come down and you get a touchdown, just kick the field goal, now you win the game. So I think that's the position that he was in. Now, at the end of the day, like, these are all just our opinions. The game came down to not even being a big deal when it come down to it. Went into overtime. When, like I say, once you're in overtime, that's a whole nother ball game. You know what I'm saying? It's chess now. Like, you really got to make another move. So he brought up that part about the 2-point conversion. But what I want to speak about is the Montez Sweat sack, okay? Now, for those of you who've watched a lot of games come down to, big throws or big sacks, this is, I would assume, our highest paid athlete on defense, on the defensive line. It's a great move. You got the quarterback right where you need him. It just hurts, as I say, the Bears are cursed, is that 99% of the time, I feel like someone of this caliber player and this quarterback, this results in a sack. If this is Caleb Williams, or if this is Justin Fields, or this is Mitch Trubisky, and people had this opportunity, it's like 99% of the time that this would be literally a strip sack. Ball's coming out, falling on it, kick, field goal, game over. But some odd reason, the ball doesn't even come out of his hands. Like, it's not even a question he got it. So that part of that hurts me, as you don't really have nobody on the defensive end really stepping up and balling out and going to get the win, go get the victory. As I move past that, the third piece you brought up, looking at the overtime second part of the game, Caleb Williams is showing you he's a rookie quarterback in this very exact moment. I'm screaming at my TV because he doesn't recognize that they're not sending pressures. They're just dropping more people in coverage. He just had so much time, he didn't even know what to do with it. He didn't know if he wanted to run because he didn't have the instincts to have pressure, and he didn't know if he should throw because, he just had more time. So what do you think he was thinking about on that possession to get that sack, and what should he have been trying to do? Because that was a costly sack, and that put us out of position to even, really make the game interesting.
Yes, I think he started the game off pretty much the whole game. He was 3-step drop, get the ball, go, quick decisions, right. Right away. And then when they had to, pretty much make up 2 scores, he kind of went into, let it rip. So now you get into overtime, and he was kind of in the middle of both. Like, he want to make a play, but he don't really want to make a play. He not seeing no pressure, not trying to look downfield, trying to make something happen. I think in that situation, he got to be more decisive. I think we saw him take a leap this game, being more decisive, running the ball, not running east and west, but pulling the ball down, getting upfield, getting yards. So I think his decision making is getting quicker, but I think he kind of had a lapse, in that situation where it was like, okay, he didn't throw the ball away. He didn't scramble. He was kind of in no man's land, like in between, 2 different choices, and he didn't pick one. So, but I think that's just a part of his journey as a rookie. So, it's a tough, and that's pretty much, the bad sack that he took. But we also saw that last week, in that game, that last drive of the game, that could have been a game-winning drive. Mm-hmm. He took 2 sacks, on that last drive to make it 3rd and 19. He ended up getting a conversion, but I think those are the things that, he got to continue to be coached through and be, process-oriented, and not, okay, you came back from it, so you good, but like, no, you can't take that sack in that situation. So I think that's a part of his development.
And that's why the Bears are cursed, because they have to go through this development right now. We're right here at this position again where you got to go left and right, and most likely the Bears are going to be in position where they're going to let Matt Eberflus go. I've been riding for the guy. I really want him to do well, but sometimes you trying too hard, it's just not the right situation for him. Maybe Chicago Bears are not. Chicago Bears are not the organization for him. The tough part about Matt Eberflus too, though, and the Bears is that, if this guy goes to a divisional rivalry, that's going to be a headache for us. Just understanding that is also the tough part about swallowing this pause. That Matt Eberflus could end up going to the Packers defense. They could go to the Lions defense. He he could end up being in our division somehow, because I know someone's looking at him like, I know that we are giving him a hard time as being able to develop Caleb Williams right now, but a team's going to want him, and they're going to put him on the staff, and he's going to have a really good defense, and so that sucks. But my point now, looking at it, assuming the worst case scenario, which is most likely going to happen, what kind of coach do you feel will help the Bears out? Like, who should we be just moving forward, as we just expect to do the same thing we've done before and wipe the slate clean and clean house and start over again? Who do you think you will be in a good position to lead the Chicago Bears to a championship?
So I actually like Eberflus. I'm probably one of the few fans who like him. I think, he in a tough situation, having a rookie quarterback, having to win right now, but not really having a team, not really having a chance to develop. So, if you look at Dan Campbell, for instance, right, like the Detroit Lions are a Super Bowl contender. But Dan Campbell at one point was 4-19. They were trash. And I know they were trash before he came, but Lion it was trash, and he was 4-19. In year 2. So they gave him a chance to get his system, get the players bought into it. They added some different things, and they developed, and now they're looking at a Super Bowl. So I think Eberflus, like you don't just go from number 1 pick to Super Bowl winner in 2 years. Like, the defense is playing really well. They held a lot of teams under 20 points. Before this game, they were 7th in scoring defense. They the best red zone defense. They get a lot of red zone takeaways. They got to take away from Jordan Love. They got to take away today. Like the Bears need a good defense. The last Bears Super Bowl we went to, they had a great defense. So I think if they get rid of Eberflus, which I don't think they should, I think they should give him 4 years and make their decision. But bring in a Bill Belichick or somebody. Like, bring in a Bill Belichick or somebody. Like, bring in a Bill Belichick or somebody. Like, somebody like that who, get the defense right, get this mentality, teach people how to be pros. I think that's what they need. They don't need another Matt Nagy. They don't need somebody doing all these trick plays, no Cliff Kingsbury. Like, bring in somebody with some experience, who can get the defense right, who can manage in the cold weather when you got to play Derrick Henry or somebody, if you're a Super Bowl contender. Get somebody like that, so we can go from either Super Bowl champ or we can just keep getting picks.
And there it is. That is the answer. See, what he just told you was 100% correct. Now, you all can go for what's the gentleman's name for the Lions coach? What's his name? Dan Campbell, but no, the coordinator, everyone, Ben Johnson. Yeah. Everyone wants Ben Johnson. Okay. I hear you guys. I think we need to just I'm compromising with you all. I'm compromising. Okay, Matty Eberflus, I got you. Same thing. I had to accept the L with Lovie Smith. I wanted Lovie Smith to stay. Y'all got rid of him. Y'all said, Lovie Smith, your winning record is not good enough because it's not winning Super Bowl. Get out of here. Okay. I'm compromising right here. As much as I don't want Matt to leave, he has to leave, right? There is no other solution to our problem right now besides having Bill Belichick. And let me explain why Bill Belichick is the answer. The Bears are cursed. Like, I'm not joking. Like, y'all really thinking that I'm joking. The Bears are cursed to some degree, right? And they're cursed because they don't know how to win. We do not know how to win. And the fact that the Bears don't know how to win, and it vice versa, the fans don't know how to win, right? I've watched over the last multiple years of Bears fans not rightfully so being upset about what the organization has provided. And everything that they've requested has occurred. You want the coach gone? He's gone. You want a new coach in? He comes in. There's a lot of excitement. You want the coach gone? He's gone. You want the coach in? He comes in. Rinse and repeat. Everything that requested has been successful, and look at the results, right? This is not the Bears organization only mess up. The Bears have been doing this for a long time. The reason why Bill Belichick is the answer is because he knows how to win. He'll set a culture. He'll set a culture that could last us another decade. Even if
he doesn't even do well, the Bears will be a great franchise because they'll have the understanding how to win. He'll have the defense in line, and he'll teach the quarterback how to be a quarterback. Like Caleb Williams, he'll teach you the ins and outs, the strategies. If you really want to win, Bill Belichick just needs to be on the forefront of every single Bears fan if y'all really want to do this the right way.
Agreed. I think go get a Bill Belichick. Don't do no more experiments. Go get a experienced coach and do that. Otherwise, let Eberflus stay. Let him keep building. I think the ascension that Caleb Williams in the offense has shown from week 1, in week 2 where he had 93 yards passing or something like that, and we were like, whoa. He hit a peak, and they went on that little winning streak, and he came back down. And now, now he okay, he looking like a quarterback. He looking like he can move the offense. He can make some incredible throws. We saw him thread the needle a couple times today. He can throw on a run. He hard to sack. I think they showed a stat that, he got the most broken tackles or the most missed tackles on him. His opponents have the most missed tackles on him in the league, but they also have the most sacks on him too. So, I think if he can cut down, some of the sacks, get rid of the ball, and not take those bad sacks like he was taking against New England when we had 9 sacks, be more decisive with the rock, learn the game. I think the Bears will be fine. They got a great punter. He can flip field position, which is very important. They got a good returner where we saw, when it was time to show, he was able to, flip the field, put them in a good position. To go into overtime. Their defense, like I said, statistically, this is their worst game statistically, and it came against a good, Vikings offense.
Held Justin Jefferson under 30 yards receiving.
Exactly. Yep. So
3 sacks on the quarterback.
Yeah. Cook
in a red zone turnover.
Cook. Yep. Exactly. Yep. So They got all the different pieces, they have all the pieces. I don't think you need to blow it up right now. I think you just need to give them some more time to build. Obviously, they running out of track right now. They not, this season is a wash. We want to see them continue to be competitive, so we have something to cheer for. But I think you don't just throw everything out. You building, it's a process. You can't just go from, the first floor to the third floor in one step. You got to take these steps, and I think we're seeing that. So.
Your point is very valid, and it's 100% accurate. And anyone who disputes that doesn't really know football. But I think the Bears fans are past that point. I think that they're seeing it as that they are cool with that process. They don't want Matt Eberflus to be the person to do it. And I just want people to understand how football works. And you can still hate them at the end of the day, but just letting you know, this is going to be a tough rebuild again, to come out of this. I don't want to jinx anything, but I'm going to speak my mind. You take the Bears organization, you're going to take the coach out. When you take the coach out, players have to leave. Now you have to bring in new players into a new system. Now you have Caleb to come in with a new player, a new system. Now Caleb's rookie year has to be another rookie year where he has to learn a new playbook and be with a new personnel to use different terminology. Instead of using XY, they use XZ. You know what I'm saying? That's the new playbook he has to learn. And that's what Caleb will have to do again next year in his sophomore year, going up against the Lions, the Packers, and what's the other team? We don't care about the Vikings. They beat us. We don't care about them. But my point at the end of the day is that that's going to be the tough pill to swallow, is that we're going to literally take that and throw it away and say, Caleb, go ahead and do it again. And that's going to hurt his development, and that's going to set him back another year and push us back out of the window. And now the last piece I want to bring up is that, the Bears are cursed, and what I see is happening is that we'll do this whole game, this whole thing. If we don't get Belichick, we'll do this whole thing with Caleb Williams. He'll end up going to free agency after his rookie year. Maybe we don't extend him. He goes somewhere else, and he busts his eye. Okay, so that's what I think will happen, and I hope that they prove me wrong. But I really want the Bears to be a competitive team, regardless if you believe Matt Eberflus to be there or not. Those are my final words about it. BL, you can wrap us up.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, like I said, they not, they good enough to be competitive. So if the Bears were just trash and we knew we were rebuilding, I think it'd be a little bit different. But the fact that we got talent, I think, is the most frustrating part. But like I said, it's the NFL. Some teams who go to the Super Bowl don't make the playoffs the next year. And if you think about 32 teams in the NFL, I said if every team win, you got a 1 in 32 chance to win, which is slim. And the Kansas City Chiefs got a couple of them already in this decade. You got some teams who going back. So it's hard to win in the league. And I think, you can't settle for I need to win some games or put up some stats. Like either you a championship team or you not. Facts. You know. And if the Bears want to be a championship team, we can't keep doing this every 2 years, 3 years. We get a new head coach. I think the most successful teams, especially the Chiefs, even the Lions right now, and they rebuild season. Like the Lions have the same pretty much OC and DC and head coach. They got stability. You know, the Chiefs, they had the same D coordinator for 7 years, right? They got Andy Reid calling plays. They got some stability. You know, Mike Tomlin, you know, never had a losing season. Stability. You know, all these great franchises have stability. And the toxic franchises, every 2 or 3 years, they switch it up, you know. So we always going to be in rebuild mode. I think they got to, you know, if Eberflus is the guy, stick with him. If they get somebody else, we're going to be doing the same thing for a couple years. So, you know, we going to see. We definitely going to see, but it's definitely frustrating. Awesome, yeah, for sure.
And most importantly, don't forget that I told y'all today
the Bears are cursed. So when they bring a bear, a cub, or something to the stadium and just running around, like, I don't know, Peter might be against this, but we need some type of, like, you know how the Cubs did it with the GOAT and everything. I don't know. We need somebody to come up with something and just try something because I think the Bears are cursed. So that's the part for the Bears segment. Win or lose, it's over. Wrap. We suck. Trash. We'll see what happens next year. I do want to speak about your idea about injuries. You know, this is a little bit. We're gonna wrap this up. I really hope we get this in only 3 minutes. So we'll try to add this last piece to it. But I just want to know, what are your thoughts? Just give me one of your thoughts as a practitioner, and we'll bring you back on the pod again because I know we limited. But I want to just give you an idea about, just give the audience some information about health in a sense of like your years of a practitioner. Just 2 minutes to just spit, you know, go crazy. Just your thoughts as a practitioner. Summarize it, chat GPT it. Just give the education to the audience because, you know, people don't really understand their health and I really want them to do a better job. So go ahead and spit for us.
So, I mean, I guess I can go a lot of different ways with it, but I think at the end of the day, you know, health is definitely wealth. You know, you only get one body. You know, you can get a new car, you can get a new crib, you can get, you know, a lot of new stuff, but you can't get a new body, you know, BBL or not. You can't get a new one, you know. And I think, especially in the social media area, is definitely a difference between health and fitness, you know, on social media. So fitness is, okay, let me go ahead, get the BBL, let me go ahead, do the quick fix. And I don't really think that's healthy. You know, when you think about, without getting too much in specifics, BBL, for instance, right? So you have a thing called subcutaneous fat, which is the fat that sits right underneath the skin. And then you have visceral fat, which is fat that sits around the organs. So when you take out the subcutaneous fat like you do when you get a BBL, some of the research shows that your body actually grows more fat, more visceral fat, which is fat surrounding the organs. So even though you look better, you're not healthier, right? So I think versus you can take somebody who is overweight or is obese, but they go from not doing anything, sitting on the couch eating potato chips, to now they going to the gym a little bit. They having regular physical activity. They dance and they moving their body. Their risk of disease and their health is increasing. Their risk of disease is going way down. So even though they don't get that quick, like, okay, let me, you know, post my bio goals on you know, Snapchat, on Instagram, they still more on TikTok, right? You still a more healthy person, and you know, creating discipline for yourself, you allowing your body, your immune system to get better. There's so many healthy things that you can do just from being active. So I think you can never really, you know, skip that part of actually being active and actually working to get what you need. And then also injuries. You know, our bodies, we're not designed to sit down for 8 hours and then sleep for 8 hours and just be inactive. So, you know, even people who work with a lot of high level, you know, military people and things like that, people actually have more injuries and more pain when they go from being out in the field, doing all kind of stuff, jumping out of helicopters, to now sitting at an office, sitting at a desk, right? When you start sitting at a desk, you actually start having more pain and more things start to break down just because your muscles get weaker. It's not really ready to take on a stress that you need, you know, to kind of live your day to day. So long story short, I guess I can go a lot of different ways with it, but be more active, be more healthy, get some sleep, true nutrition, stop taking all these different supplements and eating, you know, creatine powder and all this other stuff. Like, health, you know, foods that don't rot, you know, foods that rot, you know, like fruits and vegetables, bananas, chicken, meat, nuts. those things kind of help decrease the inflammation in your body. Getting a full night's sleep decreases the inflammation in your body, and that basically helps to promote a healthier life. So,
hey, speaking of nuts, pause. I got the TreasureTreeTherapy trail. I got the TreasureTreeTherapy trail mix. Trail mix full of pecans, pistachios, chocolate chips, almonds. We got everything. It's a very healthy snack. You know, we got that going. If you're very interested, you can put it in the comment section. It's very good for your gut health. Prebiotics, postbiotics, all that. Biotics, all you need. Clean up your gut. But we just don't want to throw that out there. He did bring up some good points. You know, health is wealth. People are getting older, guys. Metabolism is slowing down. You're not going to be able to do the same thing you did when you were doing 5 years ago. So you got to be a little bit more active. Got to sweat. Got to move the joints. If not, they're going to break down, start deteriorating. You're going to end up being a walker. You are what you do. You are what you don't do. So on that note, we're going to wrap it up right around 32 minutes, but that's fine. It's a great quality podcast. Thanks for listening. A lot of great content. I appreciate Dr. B.O., PT physical therapy guy, for joining us. I'm going to let him send us out, and then I'm going to see y'all next on the podcast. I'm going to let him finish us out.
All right, that's your episode of the Treasure Tree Therapy Podcast, Triple T. You know, I'm happy he let me crash the pod, but yeah, he got a lot of good information. Also, you know, we didn't mention Paul George, but he brought Paul George up a long time ago and brought it up again a couple weeks ago, and now he out with another injury, same knee. You know, he talked about Kawhi Leonard back years ago. You know, talked about Lonzo Ball, so. You know, he really knows his stuff. I think, you know, the Bible say, you know, a poor man's wisdom is despised. So get your cake up. Maybe next time you come a little cheese chain and you start flossing so people might actually listen. But, you know, he got some good stuff. I think it's some good gems. So if you got time, play it on 2x speed, you know, if for the sake of time. But, you know, it's some good stuff. If you really want to hear some quality stuff, keep tuning in. And we'll see y'all next time. Y'all be easy.